Hey y'all, welcome to Love and Hip Hop Season 3 Episode 9 review. Let's get into it. So it starts off with Nikki and Shonda. They're going to yoga to relieve stress, and Shonda's like, she just really has to make a decision as it pertains to her marriage and what she wants to do, but she'll make that on her own terms. So Nikki is like, well, me, as far as my whole situation with Safari and Rosa, I feel like I'll commit when I'm ready. I just haven't been myself since my brother passed away, and I feel like I've used Rosa and Safari as an escape and as a mask to hide my pain or whatever. So, Shonda's like, well, you do have to let that out, and you do have to at some point apologize to the both of them. She's like, yeah, I know what I have to do. So we get to Max and Brandy, and they're discussing the whole Moniece thing. And of course Max is annoyed or whatever because their business had nothing to do with her listening party. So she's like, well, see, this is why I got mad at you for doing a session with Masika. He's like, listen, I don't care about Masika. I would never make a hit with her or whatever. It is what it is. She could go find some other producer because I'm not doing it. So he's like, I want you to be positive. I want you to keep a positive face. I want you to just leave it alone. Brandy wants revenge because she's like, you talked about my family, you talked about my husband, now we got a problem. So now we get to Masika, Nia, and Moniece, and they're at a Hollywood listening party. And for Masika is singing her song Black Cinderella, which she said is based on her situation with Fetty Wap. Fetty has been on tour since the baby was born. Then when they get together, they start discussing the whole listening party fiasco with Brandy and Moniece or whatever. And Moniece is still, defending her actions by saying she's just tired of people attacking her as a mother. And my thing is this, Moniece. People wouldn't attack you as a mother if you didn't do the stuff that you do. Like, okay, nobody can really say what Moniece does or doesn't do as a mother, but it's like antics like this is not something a mother would do. You took it too far. And I kind of don't feel bad because people are attacking her as a mother, because some of the stuff that Moniece does, Moniece always likes to play victim. She always do stuff to people, but when they do stuff back to her, it's woe is me, why is this happening to me? I'm being attacked, this, that, and the third. She always likes to play victim. Like, she wears that well. So, now we get to Princess and Jason Lee. Princess is tired of this whole situation with Moniece, and she's like, listen, I know the main person I need to go to get dirt on Moniece, and I'm going to go to them. So she goes to Jason Lee, and Jason Lee already knows what Moniece did, because the streets talk. He already knows about the whole listening party mess or whatever. So Princess asked for the like about the sex tape, because there's a sex tape. Word on the streets that there's a sex tape of Moniece floating around somewhere, and she's asking for revenge for Brandy. Now Jason is willing to give it to Princess, but he's not so sure about Brandy, because he's like, the last time he saw Brandy threw a drink on him. So he's like, I want an apology from her. He knows who has the sex tape or whatever, but I want an apology. I'm only willing to give it to her if she gives me an apology. So she's like, okay, well, I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I could probably get her to apologize to you. So now we get to Lyrica and her mom, and they're sitting down or whatever. Lyrica has this cute little curly brown, like honey blonde wig or whatever. And her mother's like, she's like, oh, this hair, something like that. Her mother's like, I don't really like the hair. And I'm like, looking at her like, Lyrica's mother gets on my nerves. Lyrica G gets on my nerves. So they're discussing when she went to go meet up with A1, and she explained that she broke the wedding picture because Lyrica broke her heart or whatever. And but she's saying that she'll do her best to work on bettering relationship with A1 and his mom or whatever, and she's like, well, you broke my heart. I wanted you to go, I wanted you to get married, I wanted to be there, I wanted to be able to, you know, help you pick your dress, and you took that from me. So she's like, well, listen, I'm already married, this is something you're gonna have to get over, we just gonna have to do better. And she's like, okay, one way that you can help me get over it is I would like to get liposuction, and I would like for you to pay for it. So Lyrica is kind of like laughing it off, and she's like, listen, if you could do that for me, then we'll be like smooth sailing from here on out. So Lyrica is like, well, we'll see, I'll discuss it with A1 and we'll see what happens. So now we get to Fetty and his music partner, whoever this guy was, named Ike. So he said he's working on a mixtape, and they're discussing Masika, and he's like, I don't want to be with Masika, you know, I just want to be a dad. And he said he feels like Masika uses him for publicity and blogs and everything, and he's like, his loyalty is to his daughter, not, you know, not her. You know, his daughter is family to her, but he's just her baby daddy. And I'm like, okay. He's like, you know, we just not seeing eye to eye. I mean, there's a reason why you're not seeing eye to eye, but okay, whatever. So now we get to Nikki and her mom, and they're moving, I think they're moving their stuff out of the house where her parents and her brother used to stay or whatever. So she said that her brother passed away from a drug overdose, and her mom is like, she feels dead inside. They're still in shock or whatever. So, you know, her mother's like, no matter what, you know, family comes first or whatever. And Nikki is like, I will always be here to support you guys, pick up the slack, keep it busy with the family businesses and everything. You know, I'm gonna do whatever it is I can. So you know, Mama Mudaris is like, you know, I want you to be with a good man, I want you to be happy, and I want you to just get yourself together. I want to see you thrive. So Nikki's like, you know, maybe I use work as a distraction from, you know, the death of my brother. Maybe it's time for me to live a little, you know, just, you know, not forget my brother, but to just, you know, stop using stuff as an escape and deal with it. And one of the ways of me dealing with it is apologizing to Rosa and Safari. So that's the next step she wants to take. So now we get to Brandy and Princess, and they want revenge on Moniece. So Princess tells Brandy, you know, I have dirt on Moniece. The receipt that we need is the fact that Moniece made a sex tape or has a sex tape. So she's like, the only way we can get it is from Jason Lee, and if we can get it from Jason Lee, you know, that will be all well and good, you know, but he doesn't want to meet up with you because you threw the drink on him. So she's like, you know what, I'll figure it out, we'll work it out, and I'll bring him a gift. Men love gifts. So Masika is at home, and she's like, you know, me and Fetty are basically playing phone tag. You know, he puts everything else above his daughter. He makes empty promises, and I'm not going to keep allowing her to have a part-time dad. I'm going to protect her from him and the rest of the world if I have to, because that's what I have to do as a mother. I completely 100% agree with Masika, because once you become a mother, your job is to protect your babies. You are a lioness, and those are your cubs. You're supposed to protect them by any means necessary. So, Princess, Brandy, and Jason meet up, and they want to bury the beef or whatever. So she gives him shades as a gift, and he's like, is this shades as a gift, or is this shade as you're going to be throwing shade? And, you know, Brandy's like, no, I'm giving you this gift as a way of apologizing for throwing a drink on you. So he's like, well, in order for me to give you what you want, you have to give me what I want. And she's like, okay, what can I do for you? And he's like, this is this movie that I love, and my favorite part is called Coming to America. And my favorite part is when he makes the queen bark like a dog. I want you to bark like a dog. So I'm like, okay, that's random. But Brandy is like, okay, I get it. Everybody calls me a chihuahua. They always say I'm barking like a dog. So bark like a dog. Okay, Jason, you got it. She stands up. She barks like a dog. They have a deal. And he's like, you know, it's a cold day in hell when your enemies link up. I'm like, yeah, because y'all are about to be messy, messy, and messier. So now we get to Masika and Moniece. Masika is tired of going back and forth with Fetty Wap. She feels like he lied about coming, because he'll say he's coming to see the baby, and then he doesn't. And then he'll text her again saying that he's coming to see the baby, and then he doesn't. And then time passes and he has yet to come and see her. He's always on tour. His job is always more of a priority than his child. She just wants him to be consistent, and she's just fed up with the whole situation. So now we get to the barbecue in the park with Lyrica, A1, and their moms or whatever. So A1 is like, I still didn't forget how Lyrica G came to my house and threw out a picture and got upset or whatever. So I'm gonna check her. That was the last time I saw her. I'm gonna check her right here and now in this park. So he's like, you know, Lyrica brings it to his attention that her mom wants lipo. He's like, I'm not paying for lipo. So Safari, he goes off to Tiara and he's flirting with Tiara, and Tiara is like, listen, Nikki is my girl. I'm not flirting with him. He ain't getting nothing out of me but conversation. That's it. Move on. So now Lyrica G arrives and she looks good. She has on like a nice little corset and some jeans. And you know, everybody's just happy. A1 and Lyrica are just happy that they're accepting the fact that they eloped or whatever, and they're trying to get over it. So you know, Lyrica G is like, A1 never apologized, so I don't know how I really feel about that. So he's like, okay, well, I don't like the fact that you was at our housewarming party and you threw your glass, and then I don't like the fact that you came to the house and you threw the picture frame, and now I'm hearing that you want me and Lyrica to pay for your lipo. I'm not paying for no lipo. But what I will do, because I thought about you and I got you something that costs way less than liposuction, I got you a waist trainer. So everybody's sitting there like, oh shoot. So Lyrica G is like, why don't you ask your fat ass mama to wear it? So Pam is like, F you, F you. So she throws food at Pam. So A1 and Lyrica are arguing back and forth because their mothers are arguing back and forth. So A1 is like, yo, I'm very worried that Lyrica G is going to be a problem in our marriage. Meanwhile, the whole entire time they arguing and fighting, this is Safari. I'm like, Safari, really? And the fact that the cameraman kept going, like putting the camera on Safari, made this whole scene funny. But this scene was a mess. Y'all let me know how y'all felt about this episode. Please like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.